Hello! Welcome to our second and hopefully less boring podcast. This is Honest Kim of Fashion First Aid with Annie, the Psychic Sidekick.
Hello, everyone.
If you have a reading you'd like to have done, make sure you use the comment feature, join the group chat on the side, and tell Annie what you're hoping to have a reading about so she could do it at the end. Otherwise, we are asking you to post your comments on the side. Which is worse? We're talking about farts today, so we'd like your opinion. Which is worse, the sound or the smell of the fart? So, Psychic Sidekick, you are going to do a song for us. Psychic Sidekick, are you there? Psychic Sidekick, are you muted?
No, I'm here. I just lost you briefly. Sorry about that.
And you're going to do a song for us?
Yes. What does the fox say? What does the fart say?
Obnoxious. All right, you can't talk about farts without having some fart humor. We Americans love that stuff. So obviously you've figured it out. We are talking about farts today. And so, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. People want to know what actually is in a fart. So you'll be surprised to know that, according to Wikipedia, 99% of the volume of a fart, scientifically, flatus, is composed of non-smelly gases, meaning it's oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and methane. And there are even people, humans, adults, that don't have methane in their farts, so nothing really to light on fire. So what you get in the smell comes from less than 1% of the fart. Can you even believe that, Annie?
No, I can't believe it. I can't believe it's a little bit of sulfate that comes from food or just from your body itself and the bacteria. It's just very interesting. I thought I would consider myself non-smelly 100% of the time, but my sister smelly 100% of the time, and it's nauseous. You want to throw up every time you smell it.
Well, I mean, the other question is when people say, oh, okay, well, I don't really fart that much, or, my farts don't stink, or whatever, but they're saying that everyone, man, woman, child, cow, bovine, whatever, farts a similar, volume of fart every day, whether it comes out in one, bigger, smellier farts or smaller, less smelly farts, or, something in between. Everybody farts.
Everybody farts, whether you're alive, and even after you die, you fart. And they say on average you fart anywhere between 10 and 20 times a day. Some people more, some people a little less, but everyone farts, whether it's silent but deadly or very loud and proud.
Well, what I was interested in is what happens if you don't let it out? Because, sometimes you're in a place where you can't let it out. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to hold it in. Some people think, oh, well, it comes up as a burp. And we found out that's wrong, right?
Correct. That is wrong. A burp comes from your stomach versus a fart comes from gases created in your intestines.
So basically, if you hold it in, it doesn't go back into your stomach. It just kind of hangs out and comes out later. Generally, when you let it out, or if you don't purposely let it out, it comes out in your sleep often, huh?
Correct. So a lot of you, if you have that partner next to you and they're farting up a storm, they might have been holding it in all day long, because finally when you go to sleep, your body relaxes and therefore the muscles allow the gases to exit your body.
And that's why overnight flights on the airplane stink, literally.
They do. Altitudes.
Altitudes, toot, toot, toot. So let's talk about that 1% that is responsible. Now, you said it's sulfates, right? Or sulfur, we'll call them volatile sulfur compounds, VSCs. And I
Correct.
guess the three main ones they've divided into three scientifically accepted scents. Um, the decomposing vegetables is one of them. Unpleasantly sweet slash wild radish is the second one, which I don't even know what that would begin to smell like. And rotten eggs, which we all know what that smells like. But they're also saying that another component of fart stench is poop. So they're saying if you've got feces in your rectum when you let one go, um, sometimes it's poop that you're smelling. What do you have to say about that?
What movie was it that said that when you smell farts, you're eating your own poop? Fortunately, it's in a gas state versus a solid state. But yeah, ultimately, you are smelling your poop.
Yeah, so if those microscopic particles are going in your nose to be able to smell them, you are actually inhaling a very small amount of poop.
Correct, but it's not going to kill you. Farts do not kill.
Are you sure?
I'm positive because I looked up on Snoops, and I don't know if you heard. In 1996, a guy died overnight because his room had no ventilation, and he passed away in his sleep because his farts were so vile. Well, they said it's like physically not possible for oxygen not to be in that room. Like he would die of suffocation before dying of his own farts. Farts aren't deadly; they just make you want to die.
Well, I
When they
mean,
smell bad.
scientifically, looking at what we just went through, 99% of the volume of a fart is oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, so it's basically air, and then less than 1% is, could be stench. So, yeah, I mean, you can't replace all that air with air and kill you.
That, that's correct. That's correct, Miss Castellano.
All right, so now we know what the smell, we know what a fart is, what the smell comes from. What about the sound? I mean, what makes that sound we all know and love, and why do some people make amazing sounds and some people make no sounds at all?
It's just the vibration from your colon as the gas exits. Some people have tighter colons than others, and as the gas gets pushed through, depending on how it may be shaped, it creates certain vibrations.
Is it the colon or the anal sphincter?
It's a combination.
Okay, so it's basically how tight your butt is.
Yes, if you are a tight ass, it might come out a little bit louder when it finally does, because some people are little squeakers, and some people are loud, like big trombones, scream it from my rooftop type people, but it all just depends on your type of body parts down there.
Okay, so I also read that if you body fat, the more body fat you have, the more sound you can achieve.
Oh, definitely. I think so. Like if you have more surface area for it to go through, just think of all that like
Oh,
or it's like
all right. Okay, I also heard that you can have accidental flatulent, like when you cough or sneeze or even during orgasm.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, definitely. Because I think at certain points of that, like you might be focusing all the tense up here, but then down here relaxes, and then things just escape, and it's the pressure.
Okay, so now there was this old French character called Le Pentaple something. They have a new guy called Mr. Methane who they can fart voluntarily and they make a living, or their entertainment sort of persona is this fart on will guy. not
Is
fart
that
on the person will,
is
but
that the
fart at
person
will.
that farts the alphabet or farts certain tunes like zippity doo dah, zippity day, where you
So
go,
are you mixing up bird?
no, there's people that fart to noises where they can fart on like tune, and so depending on so they go.
That's amazing. That's, I mean, have you, honestly, psychic sidekick, you're going to have to make some serious predictions about the ability of me or other people to be able to train myself to voluntarily flatulate. I
Well, because
mean,
I know you pride yourself on farting, and I know like any skill you have to practice every single day. And then I also think it helps to eat certain foods that are more sulfur based or that create more bacteria work in your body so that you can fart a lot more. Because depending on what you eat, like certain people that eat dairy and certain like gluten foods tend to fart more as well.
well, I mean, wait, we'll come back to this food because it's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
proven that carnivores have smellier farts than herbivores. I mean, that's why dogs and cats, their volume is of fart is small, but the smell is big because it's, you know, all the protein. So protein is a big smell factor. Um, but and beans, of course, you know, they cause you to fart and all that, but generally it's less smelly. It's just more volume. But anyway, so we'll get back to the whole protein thing. But so this is how I'm going to try. So you can make your prediction at the end of the show. But it says that you can voluntarily flatulate by tensing the rectum or bearing down on the stomach or bowel muscles and subsequently relaxing the anal sphincter. And that's how you voluntarily do this. So
So you're
he said,
sucking in air. You're going reverse. Instead of sucking in air potentially through your mouth and it being pushed through your intestines, you're sucking in air through your poopy parts.
I don't know. I think it's a different form of Kegel. It's like the
Oh, Kegel,
Fagel
Bagel,
exercises, we'll
or
call it.
Poogle.
I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, so we said we were going to get back to the whole carnivore herbivore thing, but we already talked about that. So, are there any other topics? I mean, I know we asked for people's opinion, like what is worse, right? The smell or the sound?
Well, do you
And
have
so,
a favorite fart? Because some people, like my niece, will laugh for hours about farting. She thinks it's the funniest thing, and it's hilarious because my sister constantly is like, "No, it's not funny," but then she just giggles every time she farts. Like, do you think the silent but deadly is the scary, but like, hey, good job, man? Or is it the really loud fart where it sounds like they're moving mountains?
I love it. I love the sound. I think someone said once about our Subtle Butt product, they said, hey, you know, it takes the bad part out of the fart, which it's true. Like Subtle Butt removes the odor. It's a carbon filter. It filters out the odor. It's like, you know, Brita filter for your butt. And it leaves the good part, which is the sound. And I feel like a fart is a gift. If you can make anyone giggle, whether she's 3 years old or whether she's, you know, not 300 obviously, but, you know, 80, 90 years old, who cares? If you can make someone laugh with something that's not racist, not sexist, it's natural, it doesn't cause any harm for the most part, especially if the smell's gone, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you embrace it? Why wouldn't you move mountains? Why wouldn't you bugle?
I think farts are funny and it allows some comedic relief. Who hasn't heard that little old lady walking along with her cart and then just go, just like a long dragged out, and none the wiser, just keeps on walking, and everyone like looks around or like just kind of has a nice little chuckle and little like community moment.
I think it's good. I mean, I don't know. I know the Japanese haven't embraced it yet. They have their amazing toilets that have, you know, that play the sounds when you need to make any bodily um, noises. They play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or pretend toilet flush is my favorite because the electric toilet flush doesn't really sound like a real toilet flush. So everyone knows what's going on, but who cares? I mean, you're in the bathroom, whatever, just laugh.
I just love all the different names for farts. There's like farts called like the barn owl fart, the bathtub fart, the jacuzzi fart, where it mixes in with the regular bubbles so you don't really know what's happening unless it smells. Or there's the fart where it's like, thank goodness nobody else is around, but for some reason you still look around when it happens. You could
I
be in a
don't do
house
that.
all by yourself watching TV and you fart and you're like, oh, that smelled. And you're like, oh, no one's around.
All right. Well, do we have any other questions from uh, anyone that's watching live, or is it time for the Psychic Sidekick Roundup?
I think it's time for the Psychic Sidekick Roundup. Right, Kim?
Okay, so I'm going to sing the song again while we go up, up, no noise. Mute that microphone, Psychic Sidekick. Here we go. What does the fart say? Oh, look, it looks like the Psychic Sidekick is back.
Hello, this is Psychic Sidekick Annie. And I have a vision coming on for a viewer that has an N in his name. He might be far, far away in a distant land of Australia. I see him traveling on a big metal plane with wings soon, sometime in late winter. And I predict you'll be farting at least 20 times today. Only one will be smelly. And the new year will bring you new dreams and new hopes and love in the fall.
That was fantastic, Psychic Sidekick. I am so glad I love you. Super. Well, there you have it. You have a prediction. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this is more entertaining than our ridiculously boring first episode. See you next Tuesday at 10 for Taboo Topics at 10 on Tuesdays for our post, what is it called? Also, very taboo and hopefully very interesting, where we talk about personal odor / taste. So, yep, we go down there to talk about what's normal, what's good,
Let's
what could
go
be better.
downtown.
Downtown, people are waiting for you. See you next Tuesday.